Hello, today I am going to create a program that solves the switches module. We see a bunch of switches along with a lot of lights either above or below the switches. Our goal is to get the switches in the same direction as the lights. In this case, we need switches 1, 3, and 4 up. The manual tells us there are certain states that the module can't be in without getting a strike. There is a trick to make sure that you put the switches in the correct place without ever getting a strike. The first thing to do is to get them all down. To do this, you need to check if the starting state is special. A special state is when either of these states are in the up position. Let's say that only 1 and 3 were up. If we tried to put 1 down, we would get a strike since having only 3 up is an invalid state. So instead we would have to put them down in the order of 3 then 1. Here are all of the following special start states and their respective steps to put them down. When you don't have a special state, you can put the switches down from left to right. Since only 5 is up, we can put that 1 down. As you can guess, there are special end states as well, which are the same as the starting states. To flip them up, we take the answers of the starting states, and reverse the order. That means if we needed 1 and 3 up, we would have to do 1 then 3. Since our end state isn't special, we need to put the states all up from right to left. Switches 1, 2, and 5 are up. Start isn't special, so we put them down from left to right. Switches 2, 3, and 4 need to be up. End isn't special, so we put them up from right to left. Switch 2 is up. Start isn't special, so we put it down. 5 needs to be up. End isn't special, so we put it up. Switches 4 and 5 are up. Start isn't special, so we put them down from left to right. 2 needs to be up. End isn't special, so we put it up. Switches 2 and 4 are up. Start isn't special, so we put them down from left to right. Switches 1, 2, and 5 need to be up. End isn't special, so we put them up from right to left. The GUI contains 10 white buttons. When clicked, the button will become green. When clicked again, it will become white. The first row is supposed to symbolize the starting position of the switches. The bottom one represents the end position. If the user tries to submit when the sequences are the same, they get a cheeky message. For the solver, I pass in the data that is given from the user that is parsed into booleans, and then put into 2 arrays, one for the start, and the other for the end. I then created a method that checks if a state is special. I then created a method that will be used to check if the current state of switches matches the end state in order to tell the program when to stop early if possible. I then created a method that goes from left to right and turns off all the on switches. It then adds what switches it turned off into a list of directions. I then created a method that does the opposite, and turns all respective switches that need to be turned on from right to left, and adds it to the list of directions. Both of the methods will only be used if both the start and end are not special. For the actual solve method, I first check if the start is special. If it's not, then it turns off all on switches from left to right. If it is special, then it will find the respective steps and write them down in the list. It does the same thing for the end. If the end isn't special, put them up from right to left. Otherwise, put them up depending on the special state. The last thing I did for this program was simplify the answer. There are cases when you put a switch down, and then put the same switch up immediately right after. It would work just the same as doing nothing. I go through the entire list to make sure things like that don't happen. Then I present the answer to the user. Let's see a demonstration. Thank you for watching the video.